What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Real Word Podcast, a place where real thoughts, real ideas, and real words come to life. I'm your host, Drew, coming from San Diego, California. Thank you for stopping by, tuning in, checking out the channel. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit up all the links down below. And now we can get into the episode. It is November 2nd, 2020. It is Monday morning around 6:50 in the morning. Welcome in, everybody. I hope everybody had a good and safe Halloween weekend. Gearing up for election day. Jeez, that's just tomorrow, right? Oh my gosh, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do about voting. I got it all basically figured out, but I gotta figure out where I gotta go, drop off, or whatever, man. That's gonna be a little anxiety filled, man, because I'm not wearing a mask, and I don't know if these places are gonna make you wear a mask or whatever, and are they gonna really hinder me from voting if I'm not wearing a mask? Like, that seems a little insane, but we shall see, I guess. We shall see. It's crazy, but yeah, what are we gonna get into today? Give a little recap of what happened after the episode on Friday. Give a little recap of Halloween and that day, which was Saturday, and then just kind of recap Sunday. So we're just going to go over a little recap of everything and get into a couple of news stories, go over some UFC results, and I just read something this morning. We'll read more into it. Something about UFC star John Jones chases suspected burglar off with like a shotgun or something like that. So we'll get into that. I just read the headline, so we'll see what's going on with all of that. Yeah, let's just kind of get into it. My sober October is done, but within that month, I kind of had a realization. Well, basically just yesterday, I was like, you know what? I don't need to smoke in the morning on the podcast. It is fine. I can do the whole hour without smoking, and it is no issue whatsoever. So we'll hold off on smoking on this podcast, and we'll leave it just for the Tuesday morning tokes and just kind of have it be its own thing. And I'm not going to smoke flower until tomorrow. So I've taken a couple of dabs since, but I'm going to smoke some flower for the first time tomorrow morning, so tune into that. That should be exciting. Take a couple bong snaps and go over some cannabis news stories, kind of just recap my thoughts on Sober October, maybe. I don't know. We'll get into it. But, yeah. Sober October is done for me. So what's going on? So Friday I did the episode. It went pretty well. But after that, man, I don't know. I just was not doing good mentally. Like, it was one of those days. I couldn't really tell what it was. There was like nothing in particular that was going on, but man, I was just off all day. Like, I could barely function. I couldn't do anything on Friday. It was pretty rough. It really was. And my dad left for the weekend. He went away with a friend. And so it was just me and the dogs at home. And yeah, I don't know what was going on, but Friday was really depressing for me. Like, I could just barely do anything. Like I said, I could barely function. I was just laying around basically all day. And then when my dad leaves, he doesn't leave often, like on like for the weekend or whatever. But when he does and has in the past, the dogs get really depressed. And they didn't eat or drink for like 24 hours, man. I felt really bad, but there was clean water, there was fresh food out and everything for them, but they just, when he's gone, they just don't know what to do. So I felt really bad, but then the next day, they were fine and started eating and drinking. They're like, "Oh, well, I guess we got to start taking care of ourselves since he's not here." But yeah, I took them out on walks and I didn't neglect them or anything like that, but it's just really interesting how they get affected when he's gone. It's really a trip, but Friday was rough for me, man. I barely did anything throughout the day, and then was barely taking care of myself. And then I decided to go to this Mexican spot and get a burrito just right down the street. And as I was leaving, I hate our little garage turnout because it's really hard to see if a car's coming. So I was more paying attention to the left turn. I looked both ways, but then as I was starting to creep out to make the left turn, I almost hit somebody. I almost hit a car, like not a person, like, but I almost hit a car, man. I was like really, really close. And that's just how out of it I was, and how just in the clouds I was. But I was, not in the clouds being high, but I was just like out of it and just not there. And luckily, nothing happened. Luckily, everything was safe and good. But man, it just showed like I should not be doing anything right now, because like I said, I could barely function that day. Like, it was really bad, but I needed to eat. There was nothing much at the house for me to make. I didn't feel like making anything. So I just went and got a burrito, and oh man, it almost cost me, man. Like, jeez, it was crazy. Like, really, like a foot or two away from hitting another car. It was like really bad. But nothing happened. Thank God. Got to the Mexican spot like literally like 2-3 minutes away. Got my burrito, came back home and just ate that and just kind of chilled for the rest of the night. Took the dogs out like a little bit later for a little walk. Yeah, so took the dogs out, got the mail, saw that a couple additional cards came in. I forget which ones came in. Austin Nola, and was it the Manny Machado first card? It could have been that. Anyway, both orders came with like a few free cards. Like, one of them came with 2 free cards, and one of them came with like 4 or 5 free cards. So shout out to those people. I know I left feedback on their eBay and everything. But yeah, shout out to those guys, man, because in one of them I actually got an Austin Hedges heritage card. So that was pretty cool. Like, Austin Hedges I really liked him as a player when he was here on the Padres. He just couldn't really do much offensively, so they traded him away just this last season, mid-season. I think he was a part of that Clevenger deal and everything like that. But it was cool. I didn't have to purchase it, and yeah, I really liked Austin Hedges. He was a great defensive catcher, and it was pretty cool to get that card. So shout out to those guys who sent in the free cards as well as my my purchases, so that was pretty cool. What else is going on? Saturday. So Saturday was Halloween. It was the last day of Sober October. I went on like a 2.5 or so mile run in the morning. And yeah, then I was kind of just waiting around. The kitchen cabinet people were supposed to come by between like 12 and 1 to knock out the backsplash, and then our kitchen is basically completed as far as the cabinet people are concerned and all of that. But I didn't get there till like 3:30, and I was exhausted. I was tired. I didn't get great sleep that previous night. So I was just exhausted. I just wanted to nap, watch some of the UFC fights that were going on, and then they showed up like super late, you know what I mean? And it was just annoying. It was just kind of frustrating, but they were there for like, they finally did show up, and they were only there for like maybe 30-45 minutes at most. They just got it done real quick, and then they were on about their way. So at least our kitchen is now basically complete, like is like done as far as they're concerned, and it looks really clean now, looks really good, and I'm excited about that. So that is pretty cool. Um, what else? What else, man? So yeah, like I said, the UFC fights were on. We'll recap that in just a minute. Went on a run before, so I was gonna be going to Zach's for like a little bonfire, and I knew I wanted to do one more run, and I wanted to push myself. I really did, and I did. I really did push myself, and I went on a quick run. And within that quick run, I ended up beating my mile time, my 1K time, and all of that. So I set my personal best records as far as running on the street. When I was doing treadmill runs, I think I got down to the 6 minute 45 second mark, somewhere around there. But running on street, I finally beat my record, which was from last year, like May of something last year or something like that. And it was like at 7 minutes and 19 seconds for like a long time. And I finally beat it. I didn't even think I was going to beat it. I was pushing myself, but it felt like it was going longer than what I thought. And then next thing you know, the mile time hit and it says 7 minutes and 3 seconds. I was like, no way. On my last run of Sober October, I beat my record. So that was pretty cool. That was honestly really cool to me. I also beat my fastest 1K. I forget exactly what that was at, but I got it down to 4 minutes and 22 seconds. I know some people were running miles in like that time frame, but for me, the 7 minutes and 3 seconds from the mile time, that's really good. So the next thing, I'm going to have to push myself and get it into that 6 minute mark, to that 6:50, 6:45, somewhere around there. And now I can see about doing those like interval runs again, and like speed runs, and really trying to push myself to get a little bit faster. And now that I don't have this goal of getting 62 miles in the month, I can focus more on my speed. So speaking of the mileage, man, what did I ended up getting? I ended up let's go to my history right here. So for October, for the month of October, I did 27 runs. A couple of those were like multiple runs a day, like 2 runs a day. I ended up with 67.72 miles, which is huge for me, man. Almost 70 miles. That's really good for me. And the average pace was 9 minutes and 1 second per mile, which was pretty slow, in my opinion, for me. But like I said, I was trying to push it at the end, and a lot of these were just kind of just relaxing runs. Like I wasn't trying to push myself. I was just trying to go for 2.5 to 3.5 ish miles per run. And then that last one, I was really just trying to push myself and beat my goals, and I did. So I was pretty excited about that. But 67.72 miles on the month. So the next milestone I'm gonna have to do is hit the 100 miles in a month. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna have to really just crack down and just stay focused on running long distance, and maybe have a couple like 9-mile runs again. Now that I'm smoking, maybe I'll be able to run longer again. I don't know. That's gonna be something to test out for sure, because when I was not smoking, I could barely get through 3.5 miles, man. Getting to that 4th mile was really difficult. And I was able to run 6 to 9 miles, like, right after a dab or a couple bong hits or whatever. So, really interesting stuff, how that kind of happened and worked out. But, yeah, man, 67.72 miles. I was excited about that. Since I've had the Nike Run Club app, it's been a couple years, 2.5 something years maybe. I've ran 534.7 miles. So that's a lot, man. I like how it kind of keeps track and shows you kind of how far you've come, and it gives you these little, achievements if you hit certain things and all that. So it's pretty cool. I really like the Nike Run Club app. The coaches, I love listening to the guided runs. They really help. When I do the runs on my own, I burn out really quick. So listening to the guided runs, they really help and keep you kind of on track. And next thing you know, the run is over or finishing up, man. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy the app and the guided runs, and yeah, they really help. So shout out to the Nike Run Club app, and I got it done. I didn't, like I said in previous episodes, I didn't stick to the full body workout and everything like that, but this month my plan is to kind of hit it hard with wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and heavy bag workouts and things like that to get more of that full body workout in. I think I was just overzealous with my goals, and then the mental health I had a couple breakdowns, and it is what it is. But I'm gonna hit it hard this month and try and get into some better shape, because I don't know, man. I struggle. I talked about it last episode. I struggle with how I look and everything like that. It's like I'm either too thin or I'm like too much out of shape, or I can never find the right balance, and that's just me and my mental health for sure. I know it is. But let's get into some of the UFC fights before I then talk about heading over to Zach's. So I was watching some of the fights. Oh man, this is just about Greg Hardy. Man, what was I thinking? Let me just try and find UFC fight results. Not right results. Fight results. I thought I had it pulled up, but then I just realized it's all about Greg Hardy, which he looked really good. Don't get me wrong, but I wanted like all of the results. Let's see what we got. Going to UFC. Going to UFC.com. Come on, what's going on? What is going on? Okay, here we go. All right. And yeah, this was on Halloween, so that was pretty cool. In Las Vegas. So it says... All right. Yeah, this should be the results. But it's still not all of them, or is it? Okay, it is. All right. We'll just go over a couple of them. UFC returns to Las Vegas with a Halloween treat for fans as number 10 ranked middleweight Uriah Hall takes on legendary former champion Anderson Silva in a clash of two of the most dynamic strikers in the sport. In the co-main event, number 15 ranked featherweight Bryce Mitchell looks to defend his spot in the rankings against the always entertaining Andre Fili. All bouts will stream live on ESPN Plus in English and Spanish. It was good. It was a good. Both of those fights were really good. And why isn't this giving me the results? Ay. Are you kidding me? Anyway. This is frustrating, man. Alright. These are the results right here. Alright. I'm tripping, man. I'm tripping. I just wanted more of... Just boom, here are the results. But damn, they just make it difficult to find. Forget it, man. This is ridiculous. I'm just trying to find the damn results. Come on. Without going through all of it. Okay. Kevin Holland looked really good. That was a fun one. That was pretty crazy. Holland moves to 20-5 with the win. He had a little like back and forth with Israel Adesanya after the fight, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. He said in his post-fight press conference, he's like, yeah, it's really weird how he's the champ and he's watching me. And I thought that was pretty interesting too. But Holland looked really good. Maurice Green versus Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy got the win in the second round via TKO. Looked pretty good. Definitely has been showing improvement each fight. So Greg Hardy got it done. The co-main event, Bryce Mitchell versus Andre Fili. Bryce Mitchell they went all the way. They went the entire 3 rounds. And Bryce Mitchell got it done. Unanimous decision, 29-28, 30-27, and 30-27. Basically dominated the entire fight. His ground game is just something else, man. His control is just something else. And he was able to get those camo shorts. So shout out to Reebok for getting that done for Bryce Mitchell. That was pretty fun. And yeah, that was kind of when before, like, the Greg Hardy fight was kind of when I went on my run, but I saw the end of it. I saw like the last round, maybe round and a quarter or something like that. So that was pretty cool. Saw that. Took a quick shower right after that because I got back from my run, and then watched the Bryce Mitchell fight basically on my way to go pick up a sandwich when I was going over to Zach's. So I was kind of driving and watching that fight, but it was a dominant fight. It was a dominant fight for Bryce Mitchell. And then I got over to Zach's after picking up my sandwich. We'll get into that. And finish up watching the Anderson Silva Uriah Hall fight. And the official result was Uriah Hall defeated Anderson Silva by TKO at 124 in round number 4. And I think I heard that Anderson Silva got transported to the hospital, so hopefully he's okay. I know Dana White said he was bummed at himself for making that fight. The output for both guys just weren't really there. He said, like, in round number 2, Uriah Hall threw like 11 strikes or something like that. Just really minimal output. Didn't make for an exciting fight, but he got the job done. And yeah, I know Dana White was saying, like, he doesn't want to see Anderson Silva fighting again. He has one more fight on his contract, but this should be his last one, and he was even bummed that he made this last fight for him. But he said he's not sure what he's going to do. He's going to talk with Silva, see if he's going to continue out that last fight on his contract, or if they're going to decide to let him go and do his own thing, or what. But Silva was pretty adamant that this was his last fight in the UFC, but not saying that it was his last fight overall. So I don't know. We shall see what happens with all of that. So I'm sorry about looking for the results there. Should have been more prepared. I thought I was, but then I read that article and it was all about Greg Hardy there. And I was like, what's up with that? But anyway, let's move on. So, like I said, I was on my way to go get this sandwich from Gianni's Pizza in Oceanside. It's this vegan Korean barbecue chicken sandwich, and oh my god, it is so good. It is so good. I had never had like Korean barbecue before. I tried it like a week or so ago. Earlier last week for the first time, and it was amazing. I never had Korean barbecue food before, even before going vegan or plant-based or whatever. So I took a chance on it the other, like, early last week when I went to go get it. And boy, was I happy I did, because this is like my new favorite sandwich. It was so good, so flavorful. And yeah, it was the perfect sandwich to end the night with. Took it over to Zach's, like I said, and finished watching the Anderson Silva fight. while he was setting up the projector on his back wall outside, and we got a little bonfire going. And it was just me, him, and his wife, and we just kind of hung out. We're just talking, had the movies going on in the background, and wasn't even really paying attention to the movie. We were just all having conversation and stuff. It was cool. It was a good time. I really like hanging out with those guys because we just get into some good conversations, man. And we'll probably talk about some of the stuff that we were talking about on Thursday for the No World Order podcast. Zach had a couple of interesting stories. And then yesterday he sent me this, well, he didn't send it to me. He posted it on his story about this movie coming out called Songbird. Go check out that trailer, man. Talk about predictive programming. We'll get into more of that on Thursday, I'm assuming. If the world doesn't go crazy from the election, we should be getting together on Thursday and doing an episode. So, that was, it was good stuff, man. Just hanging out, chilling, relaxing by the bonfire, having the movies going on in the background. It was good stuff. It was good stuff. What else was I gonna get into? So, yeah, I left there around 10:30 or so, 10-ish. Got back home around 10:45, 10:30, somewhere around there. It was around that time. I was tired. I don't know. But a friend came over and we were watching The Coven, American Horror Story Coven, and cleaned all my glass, got ready for midnight, and had a dab for the first time. So here's the funny thing. I was like, oh no, the clocks are gonna go back. So I was like, is it gonna hit midnight and then go back another hour and we're still in October 31st? I was tripping out on that because I was like, no, I really wanted to smoke right now. But I think the clocks went back at around like 2 or something like that. So hit midnight, saw it was November 1st. I was like, okay, we could smoke. So took a little dab, watched an episode of The Coven, and man, that was a dark episode. It was when the Papa Shambo or something, I forget the exact name of the guy, but he's like the devil who comes and you can make a deal with them, sell your soul and all that stuff. And it was just a really, really intense episode, and especially being high for the first time, man, I was tripping out. I was like, this is insane. She was like cutting up coke and doing this chant to summon him and all of that, and then they're trying to make this deal. He goes to seal the deal and realizes that she doesn't have a soul, so the deal is off. And it was just intense, man. That whole episode was just so intense, and just like how they were doing it, it was just like, wow. I guess that's why they call it like the devil's dandruff, and you know, like Dance with the Devil and all that kind of stuff, because man, I think there's some truth rooted in that. It was a really just so dark, man, but I loved it. Like I loved it. I love that stuff, but it just really put it in perspective how dark it is. And I know I've seen it before, but this was just like, saw it in like a whole new way or something. I don't know, but it just hit me really hard. It was like, wow, that is crazy stuff for sure. For sure. Oh, before we move on, back to when we were over at Zach's, he was telling me about this mask story. Again, we're probably going to talk about some of this stuff on Thursday. But he got into this little situation at a restaurant or whatever, and they didn't serve him and his wife, who's pregnant, by the way, because they weren't wearing a mask. And there was like cops in the area as well. They have this little situation go on, whatever. I'll let him kind of tell it on Thursday. But they went and talked to a cop afterwards, and the cop basically said the mask mandate is ineffective. It was for 30 days only, and that 30 days is up, and everybody's just being complicit and going along with just fake, like not real mandate. Like it's not ineffective. It's not in effect right now. So don't wear your mask. Go without a mask. Like stop wearing it, please. Stop being complicit. Stop keeping this thing going on, man. It's like ridiculous. Just stop. Take it off. There's no need for it. You're not being selfish. Like there's no need for it. There's no legality backed by it. The cops saying they're not gonna enforce it. So yeah, we'll probably get into it more on Thursday, but I just thought that was interesting and needed to be shared as soon as possible because everybody, like kind of what I figured, everybody's just being complicit, and that's the whole reason everything's still continuing on the way it is. It's just because everybody's just sheep and just blindly following orders that aren't even real orders anymore. It's not in effect. So please just take off your mask and let's get back to some sort of normalcy. Can't do this anymore, man. It's just driving me crazy. But yeah, I got a couple more cards in as well on Saturday night. Came back home, like I said, before watching the Coven. Took the dogs out, got the mail, got a couple extra cards. So that was pretty cool. And then Sunday was pretty cool. I got all my candle making equipment in, so Sunday morning decided to make a few candles. I made the lavender candles, and they're setting and curing for the 24 hours, about in an hour and a half. They should be all set. I did test one out last night just to see how it burned, and let it burn for like 20 minutes. It was good, and now I'm just letting it sit and do its thing. And then this morning I'm probably gonna make an additional 3. So it was cool. It's really simple, really easy to do, and yeah. So be on the lookout for candles, man. I really liked it. I really did. What? Oh, so after the candle making, went to Veggie Grill with the same friend, and tried their Diablo Burger quesadilla thing, which reminded me so much of a Crunchwrap Supreme from Taco Bell, which was definitely one of my favorites. So this thing was like really good. We did the challenge where you're supposed to take a first bite and not grimace or make a face or drink anything, and so I was expecting it to be like really hot. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be tough. Like that one chip challenge, you know? Thought it was gonna be something like that. And then we also got the burrito. It was like buffalo chicken, beans, and ranch, something like that. It was really fire as well. But anyway, we do the challenge, take the first bite. I was expecting it to be like blazing hot. It was nothing, man. It was just easy. It was just really good. That's all it was to me. Like there was no like a hint of a spice with the jalapenos and everything, like, but not spicy at all. And I was just loving it. I ate that thing so quick. And like I said, it just reminded me of a Crunchwrap Supreme, which I haven't had in years now. So this was just really good. I was like, I'm gonna need another one before they take this item away and off the menu. But I was like, please don't take it off the menu. I need this, man. This needs to be an item that stays because it was just really good. It was really good. Both of the items I got were really good. The burrito and that Diablo Burger quesadilla. It was just so good. So shout out to Veggie Grill. And yesterday was a World Vegan Day, so kind of had to do it. So friend left. My dad showed back up a couple hours later, probably around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Dogs got super happy. They got, back to themselves a little bit. And yeah, and then it was just kind of a normal day for the rest of the day. Barely smoked yesterday. Had the dab at like midnight. Had a dab at like 4-ish p.m. or something like that, maybe. And then another one later in the evening, around probably like 7 or something like that. But I don't know. This whole time change kind of throwing me off with everything with my time and all of that. But really just easing back into it. Not going to go too hard. There's no need to. I can go the whole month without it, and it's completely fine. So we'll see. I'll probably smoke here or there, throughout the day today. But I'm just gonna really start taking it easy and easing back into it. And I don't want to just build up my tolerance super fast. And yeah, there's just no need for all that. There just really isn't. I can. Plus, I have my homegrown, so I can just smoke on that and not spend money on it for at least maybe a month or so. Maybe if I want some more wax, maybe I'll buy a little bit more of that. But there's like really no need to go buy anything else. I still have some edibles, some Flavor X gummies. So yeah, there's just no need to really get back into it heavy like that. Don't get me wrong, I love it. I love the feeling. It's great. It's amazing. But I just, realize this is my second sober October, and like I just don't need it like that. I really don't. But don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna not smoke. Like, it's my thing. Except, I'm gonna probably be taking October off, like from here on out, just to do that, just to take that break. Clear the head and just do it. It's not an issue. So that's what it is. So that was kind of everything going on. I woke up this morning. My left eye right here is just on fire. It's been like infected or something over the last week or so. Some days are worse than the others. Like a couple days ago, there was nothing wrong with it. Like, wasn't even bloodshot or anything. It was just completely fine. But every couple days or so, it just gets really red. I woke up this morning and it was just like on fire. I tried rinsing it out, and yeah, it's just, I woke up basically like crying because it was just so irritated. Not like crying because I hurt or anything like that. It was just so irritated that tears just started like falling like right when I woke up. Like, oh man, that is annoying. Really frustrating. I don't know what it is either. I really don't. I have no idea. So that's a little frustrating, but it is what it is, I guess. So let's get into this John Jones story. Let's read this real quick. It says UFC star John Jones chases suspected burglar off driveway with shotgun. Video shows. That's crazy. Man. All right, let's get into it. It says UFC fighter John Jones posted a video on social media Sunday showing himself chasing a suspected burglar from his home with a shotgun. Jones posted the security footage to his Instagram page. It showed a person in a hooded sweatshirt walking up with what appeared to be his driveway and entering Jones' car. Moments later, Jones comes out of his garage with a weapon in his hand, chasing the man down. Quote, ended up tapping on this guy's driver's side window with the muzzle of my shotgun last night. Next time you try and rob someone, make sure you're fast enough to outrun them, Jones wrote in the caption. He said he knew better than to shoot someone while he was retreating. People I know, times are getting hard, but your life isn't worth a few material possessions. What are your thoughts on this video? What would you have done differently? Let's check out the video real quick. Just myself personally here. Just turn that down real quick. So here comes the guy. Oh, it's it's quite a lengthy video, so I probably won't watch the whole thing. Watching. Not seeing much yet. Saw the guy like pull up. Oh, and then he goes running. Oh, dang, and there's John Jones. Oh my gosh, that is crazy. Wow, go check out that video. It says it's unclear what the man was actually trying to steal or whether the police were called. In June, Jones posted a video of himself confronting a protester who appeared to be ready to vandalize property in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He demanded that one of those people give up the spray can, and he walked over to another person who immediately gave their spray can to the fighter. Man, go check out that video. Yeah, this is why you need guns. This is why you need protection. Because people are trying to steal your stuff, man. You have to protect yourself. You have to protect yourself. Whew, almost sneezed right there. That incense was getting to me. Speaking of yesterday, here in San Diego, hundreds of boats cruised the San Diego Bay Sunday to show their support for President Donald Trump. With Election Day only 2 days away, San Diegans took to the water and coastline for the third and final boat parade. Somebody said, quote, this is America we're talking about. This is where I was born. This is where my family has lived. Paul Tatoya said, this is the country I fought for. People have died for this place. This is our country. It's time for us to stand up and fight for her. Tatoya said he and his wife Raquel felt it was important to show their support for Trump. Raquel said her parents came to America illegally from Mexico. Quote, I have learned to break the cycle of dependency. I educated myself, never asked for a handout, and you can become whatever you want here in the United States, Raquel Tatoya said, adding about Trump, quote, he really has proven himself to me, and that's why I'm here to support him. Participating boats met at the west end of the bay. Those who weren't on a boat stood united, waving Trump and American flags along Harbor Island. Quote, he's definitely improved the nation for us, and we want 4 more years of it for sure. Before COVID, things were great, and they were going to be great again, and they're going to be great again, said Sandy, a supporter who didn't want to give her last name. Probably pretty smart, because people are getting targeted for being Trump supporters. For the most part, it was all smooth sailing. The only opposition throughout the event was one man cruising the water with the Joe Biden flag. That's hilarious. Just one? Just one? Only one Biden supporter out there? Man. Raquel Tatoya had one final message for people who are still in limbo on who to vote for on Election Day. Quote, educate yourself and pick the best person for the job. Don't go based on feelings, she said. And that is true, man. It's like, for me personally, I can't vote for the two-party system. That's just not what I believe in. That's not where my values line. But I definitely cannot vote for Joe Biden. I watched this whole video kind of laying out Joe Biden's whole racist history, factually based, not just, oh, Trump's racist and there's no proof of it. Oh, he called all Mexicans rapists and all that. No, he didn't. Go look at the video. And there's very fine people on both sides. He said that about the white supremacists. No, he didn't. He disavowed the white supremacists in that same clip you're talking about. So there's like no real proof, in my opinion. I've looked it up. I've tried to look it up of Donald Trump being racist, but there is tons of proof of Joe Biden being racist. There was this whole like 15-minute video that I watched twice now just to be kind of educated on that, and I just don't understand how people would be voting for a racist, like a career politician who has had a racist history and policies over his last 47 years in politics, man. It's astonishing to me how people can even vote for that, but then call Trump a racist. Like, it just makes no sense. It's like everybody's just uneducated who wants Biden. Like, I'm sorry to say that, but you're completely uneducated if you want Biden. Or you stand for racism, and I'm not okay with that. I'm definitely not okay with that. So, pretty frustrating stuff. And they're saying, like, Biden's leading the polls. They said Hillary was leading the polls. we're seeing thousands get together for these rallies for Trump and handfuls of people get together for the Biden rallies and stuff. I mean, more than handfuls, I'm saying, but you know, there is a vast difference between the two rallies going on. It is just, it's pretty insane when you look at it, and it's like, I don't understand how they're saying Biden's leading the polls when everything we're being shown kind of says different. So also happening yesterday, I believe, it says huge Trump car caravan disrupted some voters in Temecula, authorities say, which is, you know, not too far away from here in San Diego. I was actually, not born, but I grew up in, Temecula, Murrieta area. More Murrieta, obviously, that's where we lived, but Temecula is right there, so I just thought this was interesting. A massive caravan of supporters of President Trump paraded for 60 miles throughout Riverside County on Sunday afternoon before converging on a large Temecula sports park, blocking access to the site, which included a voter center, snarling traffic and upsetting some voters, officials there said. Quote, law enforcement was contacted to ensure that access to the parking lot and voter assistance center were clear. The sheriff's department responded and cleared access to the parking lot and voter assistance center. The winding caravan of pickup trucks and other vehicles adorned with pro-Trump signs and U.S. flags began at a Riverside restaurant and drove west along the 91 freeway and then south on the 15 freeway. They had been organized under a Twitter hashtag associated with similar events in other states. The destination was the Ronald Reagan Sports Park in Temecula, a sprawling municipal community center with soccer fields and a skate park, but also a voting location at the adjacent Temecula Community Recreation Center building. An estimated 4,000 people crowded the larger park about 2 p.m. in a peaceful, if boisterous, rally, officials said. Captain Zach Hall with the Riverside County Sheriff's Department said his deputies made no arrests but did field a few telephone complaints from voters who said the partisan signs, shirts, and other materials potentially violated the 100-foot electioneering rule in state law. The deputies talked to the poll workers who said the Trump supporters largely kept their distance from the voters. So people were just complaining, oh, they're within 100 feet, but then they're like, no, they weren't. But then you have Kamala Harris doing that right in front of the line, which was definitely within 100 feet, seemingly. But that's crazy. But no, nothing happened to her, you know. Deputies also had to scramble to unwind a massive traffic jam in the area where officials weren't prepared for so many vehicles at once. Quote, they kind of caught us off guard, said Hall, who heads the department's Temecula station. We had a lot of traffic issues. The infrastructure there is not really designed for that kind of traffic. The rally spilled over from the park into a circular driveway near the voting location at the Community Recreation Center. Hall said Trump supporters had rallied at the park before when ballots weren't being cast. I don't think this had anything to do with the polling center, he said. A flyer used by the event organizers doesn't mention the voting center or voting, but says the facility has, quote, large parking lots and other areas where Trump supporters could congregate. It encourages them to drive around the park. The flyer also warns against unsafe driving en route to the event and to avoid altercations with any of the president's haters. Please be courteous, the flyer reads. Let's celebrate God, country, and 4 more years of Donald J. Trump. The parade and mass gathering came the same day Trump supporters gathered in vehicles at another park near Grandview Drive and Newhall Ranch Road in Santa Clarita. Videos of the event on Twitter showed dozens of pickup trucks and vans, some painted with pro-Trump slogans, slowly moving and honking at the intersection. The events came a day after hundreds of Trump supporters rallied in Beverly Hills, wearing MAGA hats, waving U.S. flags, and shouting 4 more years and turn California red. The demonstrators gathered at the intersection of Beverly and Santa Monica Boulevards. It's interesting that they don't mention the San Diego ones, but I guess it's more of it from LA Times, so they're not going to cover San Diego. But there was, so along with the boat parade here in San Diego, I guess there was like like 1,000 cars or something like that as well, like a 1,000 car caravan driving the streets as well. So man, it's just really interesting to see. I've always known as California being kind of a democratic state. Obviously, that's who our politicians are and all of that. But and then San Diego has always been known to be more of a conservative pocket in California, but I don't know. It just seems like more and more of these conservatives are starting to pop up, or at least show their support, not be that silent majority anymore. I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens here in California. I wouldn't be surprised if there's more record turnout for conservative voters here in California. I'm not going to say it's going to turn it red, but probably within the next handful of years, it would get closer to that. But we shall see. This election will be just very interesting, in my opinion. It'll be really interesting. I just fear that if Biden wins, he said he's gonna like treat every American like he's gonna be America's president. But while he's saying that, he's talking about mandatory vaccines, taking our guns, and like putting assault rifle bans on or whatever. It's like, then you're not for me as an American. Like, how can you keep saying you're gonna be America's president and you will work for both sides, but then you're gonna do things to proactively like go against our values? Makes no sense. But what I will say is, vote Joe Jorgensen if you want true freedom. If you want to make a real change, that's what you got to do. You got to vote the third party. Show these two-party systems that you're fed up with it. You want real change, and that is how you do it. The woman running for president, and she's been doing it for a long time. She's been in politics for a long time, and it's just sad that they kind of blocked her out of the debates, didn't let her speak. And she was on all 50 ballots. So it's just kind of frustrating how, the narrative last election season was, we need to vote for Hillary. She's a woman. We need a woman president, and all this. Like, that was the narrative, man. I'm voting for her just because she's a woman, and like all this stuff. It didn't work, but none of that sentiment is being said about Joe Jorgensen, and that just doesn't make any sense to me. Well, I mean, it does, because she's not a part of the two-party system, but she was on all 50 ballots, man, and just really interesting. If you really want to mess things up, vote Kanye West, man. And I don't mean mess things up as like he would mess up the country. I'm just saying, if you really want to like throw a wrench in some things and like really mess up the voting count and all that, vote Kanye West, vote Joe Jorgensen. Like, let's show the politicians that like we're kind of fed up with the two-party system, and that there are other options and there are other ways to get things done instead of playing these games, these partisan games. And yeah, I don't know, but all I know is I'm voting Joe Jorgensen. You should do the same. Libertarian Party, check it out. That's what's needed for the country. True freedom, who will really protect us, like as far as us as a country, our Constitution, and things like that. So, shout out to Joe Jorgensen. Let's get that done. Yeah, wow, it is election day tomorrow. That's crazy. I gotta really fill out my ballot and maybe get it dropped off. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow morning. I don't know. I gotta figure that out, but that is the plan. Gotta read up on a couple more of the propositions that I was kind of unsure of, and figure that all out and get that squared away, because those are the important things as well. It's like, it's not just the president. Like, there are other propositions as well, and those kind of affect us more so on the day-to-day basis. So check those out, and I'm gonna check those out again and read up on those one more time and figure out my final stance on all of those. And yeah, it should be an interesting election day, man. It really should. It really, really should. I don't know. I don't know. It could get really bad, or it could be all overhyped and the media is overhyping this and it'll turn out to be nothing. Trump will win and it'll just kind of be the same as it's been for the last 4 years. The Democrats will probably come up with more Russian collusion stuff, impeachment cases, and all of that for an additional 4 years. That's kind of all I see really happening. But it could get bad, man. It really could. Because I don't know. I don't know if these Democrats or these liberals, progressives, whatever, will really accept the election. And if Biden wins, I don't know if the Patriots and the conservatives will really accept the election. I don't know. It's going to be crazy, though. It could be crazy, or it could be nothing. We shall see. We shall see tomorrow. But anyway, I got to get out of here. This coffee is running through me. And, yeah. Got to go make some candles, too. So that is all I got going on for today. I will be back tomorrow for Tuesday Morning Tokes. First one in a while. So that'll be cool. And then back for the Real Word podcast on Friday. No World Order podcast, IG Live, hopefully on Thursday. Go check out at @the_ No World Order podcast on Instagram. Get that a follow. Go check out the IGTVs. All of that. Go comment. We did the origins of Halloween and origins of witches, and Zach had a little ghost story at the top. So it's pretty cool. I thought it was a really good episode. And yeah, man, that is about it. So I will be back tomorrow for Tuesday Morning Tokes. Oh yeah, got to get back to it. I'm excited. And yeah, thank you everybody. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.